All right, all right, all right. Good
Hey,
evening,
hey,
good
hey,
evening, good
hey,
evening.
hey, hey,
How
hey,
we
hey,
doing,
hey.
man? How we doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing this evening? Well,
Hey,
he's starting already. I tell
hey,
you, he's starting already. How you doing
already,
this evening?
already. I need a sip already.
If only y'all knew.
If only y'all knew. Oh my goodness, folks.
Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness,
Whew.
my goodness. It's a good
Oh
evening.
my
It's a
goodness.
good evening
Good
already.
evening.
Good evening, good
Good
evening.
evening, everybody.
Come
Good
on
evening.
in, everyone. Come on in,
Come
come
on
on
in.
in,
Come
come
on
on
in.
in. Come
Bolo.
on in. Tell your friends to come on
Yes,
in.
sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Come on
Yes,
in, folks.
yes,
Hey, listen.
yes.
Hey, listen, folks. Before we even get this thing started, there's two things that I want to go ahead and address on our platform, Logic. And that first one is for all the people that has been impacted by the hurricane that hit Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, and all of the surrounding areas. We send our thoughts and prayers out to everybody that's been
Amen.
affected. Um, and we definitely want to keep them in our prayers. Also, one of our RTE family member passed away. It's public knowledge now. Cherry passed away out of Atlanta, Georgia. She's originally from New York. We just want to give a shout out to her before we get this thing started tonight. But
Amen.
we definitely got to acknowledge what's going on in the world, and those two things affects the motorcycle community and what we do here on our platform, Logic. So once again, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do just a moment of silence for everybody. Thank you very much. So, folks, hey, welcome back. Welcome back
Welcome,
to
welcome.
episode 2 of the SCMA Grand Slam from three elite riders' perspective. That would be Sharik Asadiq and Monica Short and K Solo the Rider Harris. And without further ado, Logic,
Let's bring them on in.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring them on in because
Just
we're
bring them
gonna
on
pick.
in. Just
There's a lot of information that we need to cover,
just
and
bring
we're
them
gonna go
on.
ahead and bring them on in.
Bring them on in.
Bring
Bring
them
them
on
on
in.
in.
Bring them on in. Yes.
Monica,
Welcome, welcome,
brief,
welcome.
brief head cut off. Oh no, there
How's
you go.
everybody
Gotta
doing?
sit back there.
Okay, so who has the vacuum cleaner going in the background? Was that a vacuum cleaner?
I think that's a truck going. Just as it might have been a truck.
Hey, folks, listen.
Monica Moonlighting.
Hey, adjust your volume, Reef. You're a little high again. So Monica's
I
moonlighting.
ain't readjusted it.
You need to readjust it again. Thank you.
Hey,
So Monica's
Tennessee.
moonlighting, folks. She wouldn't have made it home in time to get on this episode this evening because she's in California. So we appreciate her taking the time to get her a cup of coffee. Monica, we're going to send you a gift card for that cup of coffee, by the way, because I'm one of those fans too. So we definitely get you a gift card in the mail. But hey, folks, we're going to pick up where we left off last night.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of information we're trying to cover, and then we also got questions. People was inboxing us. People were still posting comments, and hey, what about this? How was the map generated? What do you do to generate the map? Plotting. Some people aren't familiar with it, and that's a whole entire show within itself. So, without further ado, Logic, we're going to go ahead and pick right back up, sir. I'm turning it over to Ham over to you.
All righty. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to Riding with K Solo podcast with your boy Logic. Okay, I'm sorry. I get too
Okay,
excited.
wrong show.
Listen. I welcome everyone here once again. We are in a second episode of the interview with three Grand Slam finishers. I say I messed it up yesterday. Finishers from the Southern California Motorcycle Association rides. We talked about what it was yesterday. We talked about planning yesterday. Today, we're going to talk about preparation. And I want to, because we got one thing that we got to kick it off with, but I want to do one thing. I want to read something. And we said this in short yesterday. that there is a difference between planning and preparation. And I wrote this down real quickly, is that planning involves the conceptual and strategic aspects of the ride. In
That's right.
essence, planning is about mapping out your journey. Okay. Tonight, we're going to talk about preparation. And preparation is the hands-on aspect, ensuring your bike and everything is ready to execute the plan that you made. So I wanted just to say that little tidbit right there. We have with us again, as K Solo said, we have Monica from California. We have Reef from here in the country of Texas, and we have we have K Solo over there on the East Coast. Listen, y'all, I wanted to kick it off, and I know it's going to be Monica and K Solo. There was a last question right at the end of the show, and they wanted to understand more about this map right here. So if Monica, if you can explain, they want to know, how did you make the map? What did you use to generate this map on for this epic ride?
Understood. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good to go. I used 2 map sources or map planning sources to plot this in Google Maps. I used Basecamp and I used Map Source, primarily Basecamp because I'm more familiar with that. And once I looked up all the addresses, tried to confirm to the best of my ability where those dots needed to go, that's when I flagged all of those areas in Basecamp. Once I did that and I had everything, as perfect as I possibly could get it, then I went ahead and exported those maps into Google Maps. And that's how you get what you see now.
And that right there is an episode within itself, because there's a lot to go into it.
That's a couple episodes.
It's a couple episodes because actually Sharif is very seasoned in Google, because he actually used Google for the IBR. Am I correct, Sharif?
That is a correct statement.
That's right. I use Basecamp. Lionel Ramos got me familiar with Basecamp and the whole process of uploading and plotting. But for this right here, Sharif and Monica were probably your 2 more seasoned. I understand it. I work with, I'm proficient with it, but they are the ones who mainly uses that platform.
Okay, so Basecamp, map it out, and then import it into Google, and it gives you those bubbles right there.
Right. There's other platforms too that's
correct.
free. That's not as hard as Basecamp, in my opinion. But Monica saved the day because we didn't have to do that ourselves.
It's very time consuming. It's very time consuming.
Yeah.
because you have to literally go in.
It took me a little while.
Right. It takes a while. It takes a while because you have to go in, find that destination, plot it, pin it, and then generate the route that you want to take or to the next location, which sometimes it would give you just a straight line to that location.
Right.
And you may be going through mountains, you may be going through curves and back roads.
Well, what you see here primarily are just the locations. It's not the actual routing it. What I wanted to do was leave it up to giving you the freedom to be able to plot your own route. So because there's so many different places and I didn't know exactly what I was going to do first, I had an idea of where I was going to start, but what I ended up doing was basically, before I even left, I had a list of all the places I was going to go from the moment I started to the moment I ended, based on the location. So I'd get to Blaine, and then Northern Cascades was my one of my points. This is the beginning of the Northern Cascades. Go to the end. The next one would be to get to Lewiston, and then from Lewiston you're doing Lolo Pass, so that's going to take you to Lolo. So part of it was it gave me the freedom to change it if I needed to, where I was not like set on one specific route. So really, all they were plots on the map. And once you put it into your Garmin system, basically what it is it'll show you the next closest location. And you could go there if need be. And you could change things on the fly.
So one thing I just want to add to that is people, if you're not familiar, you see when I say the cockpit, on my right hand side I have my spot tracker, and then on the left I run the Garmin system. And the way that it works is it works off your computer. You can once someone sends you the map, just like the SCMA will send you a map of the Three Flags Classic, you can then download and output that into your Garmin tracking system. That way you have all the locations. So as you are progressing, people say, well, why do you use it? Why don't you just use your phone? Because it allows me to be able to plot my next destination out, adjust any changes on the fly. So instead of stopping and dealing with the phone or trying to relocate, using that Garmin system, I can move on the fly.
And it doesn't require cell phone service to use Garmin. Right. So that's a benefit.
Yep.
A big benefit.
That's good information. And that's real good information for people that want to do back roads or going into the mountains where you can lose signal. And then you lose signal, then you have to make a turn and you miss your turn because you don't have no signal, you don't know where you're going.
That's right.
Well, you'll be good until the map dies, and then once the map dies, you're in trouble. But yes, that's basically right, Logic.
I think I said that.
Basically right.
Like, what's going on, my map?
Hey folks, we're trying to get technical in here. We're trying to set you up for success tonight. That's what we're trying to do. Because
philosophical way that map things out.
we want to try to get you as much information and knowledge, so that if you decide, hey, one day you want to do the Grand Slam, or even if you just want to start off with doing a triple crown, you'll know how to do it. You'll be set up for success. And you say, hey, I watched the show, I watched the episode, and hey, I learned a lot from those guys and gals. Thank you.
I want to, and I know this is real simple. This is a real simple and real. We may think it's a simple question and answer what I'm about to say, but some people just don't know. We talked about the Grand Slam. We talked about all the different rides. Monica said one thing that said yesterday that you have to sign up for each ride. Well, first thing we have to do, people have to go on to the Southern California Motorcycle Association page and sign up for all the rides, become a member. Am I correct in that?
That is correct.
Yes, you have to become a member and then sign up for the rides.
For each ride, right.
For each ride that you plan on doing. So some people don't start off big. Some people may want to do one or two. Because once you pay, you got 2 years to do that ride. So life happens sometime and you may not be able to do all the rides in this year. So you still got the next year to do the rides. So some people, I know I just signed up for all of them right up front and I was done with it.
But you can sign up, become a member of the SCMA, and then at a later date, sign up for one of the rides. Am I correct?
One or more of the rides, yes. And normally the membership, they have 1 or 2 year memberships. They don't have past 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to get that out in case some people want to know. Okay, we're talking about the rides, the 3 Grand Slam completion people. I'm gonna get that right. I don't want to say winners because it's not a race.
It's not a race.
Right. Okay. So my first question to all three of you is right off the bat, I'll express what kind of physical, spiritual, mental preparation did you do to get ready for this Grand Slam ride? What kind of physical, mental, or spiritual preparation did you go through? Some people go through some routines and things of that nature. What did you do?
So for me, I knew about when I wanted to start. So then it was bouncing what I had in my mind for riding with the VA. because I have appointments and things that I can't miss. I need meds that if I don't make certain appointments, I can't get. So I knew that, hey, I got to plan these rides in between doctor's visits. So I had to initially move it, and then some stuff came up later where I had to cancel a lot of things that I wanted to do because of last minute doctor appointments that I had to have done. So you got to stay flexible even with your plan. You got to have a backup plan for your plan. And so for me, most of it was making sure that my physical needs were going to be met as far as with my meds. Because if I don't take some of my meds, I can't ride.
Right.
Won't happen.
Right. Right.
So that was a big part of the preparing myself physically. And then other than that, it was trying to get back to working out because some of my health issues, I couldn't work out like I like to work out. So I had to get back as much as I could without hurting myself for the ride.
Okay. Monica?
Physically, I'll be honest with you, I didn't do anything. I didn't work out or do anything or nothing like that.
I'm just being honest with you.
I'm just being physically. Mentally, it was definitely a mental challenge for me. And one thing I was trying to do for myself was kind of hype myself up for the ride, hype myself up to get going and moving. And I would have to say, through each phase, through each road, through each goal that I met, it was each time I did it, it either pumped me up, which usually it did, would pump me up. Okay, so now I'm going to the next thing. And that would give me a little bit, because the list was long and it was daunting and it was, in a sense, overwhelming. Right. And as I was starting to scratch things off, I was starting to become more and more unburdened, feeling as if, okay, I'm getting it done. And as I'm scratching things off, and I started to get lighter and feel lighter. So each stage of the ride, as I move through the ride, my mental well-being started to get less burden and more free. And then also meeting certain people on the road also kind of, or not certain people, meeting people on the road, talking to Reef and talking to Solo was also mentally uplifting for me and helped me to keep pushing forward. So, so no real preparation other than trying to hype myself up and psych myself to keep going.
Okay. Well, Solo. Well, we see your videos. That's why I came to you last. We be seeing what you be doing, how you be working out. Go ahead, answer that same question,
sir. Man. So for me, I hit the approach of just really trying to work out, get as physically fit as I possibly could, get my endurance up. I was dealing with some medical issues going into it, which I knew going into 24 that I was going to be dealing with it and that I was going to have to take a break in between. So that's where I kind of timed it the way that I did. But definitely it was getting my endurance up, making sure that I was physically fit, no injuries, no old wounds or anything like that. Definitely was thinking, okay, hey, my medication, am I right to go out on my medication? Am I right to go out and ride, 1,000, 1,500 miles on a pop to get over there in 2 or 3 days? And then dealing with the heat, because when you're going from the cold to the heat, your body goes through something. Goes through something. Do not be fooled, people. You will experience it all. So for me, it was being physically fit, trying to make sure that I was well hydrated going over there, knowing that when I got over there that I would need to have some downtime before I actually start riding the California Adventure Series. So I ended up staying at my old club of the house for a couple of days and just sleeping and mapping and sleeping and trying to get my plan together. I was well rested before I took off. So
Okay.
after the banquet, I went back. I think I may have, and then a rainstorm came in, which was perfect because I wanted to get that out of the way. And so I rested for a couple of days. That's what really got me started as far as getting condition wise started in the ride.
Okay. Now, because I know the biggest thing with me is mental, and I
Mhm.
used to always say that if mentally, if I'm not ready to get on that road, I won't get on the road. It
Right.
didn't. It to me, that's one of my things. Physical, I understand the hydrate and my medication, I understand it, but mentally, if I'm not ready, if if I'm not feeling it, if we can say it like that, to
Right.
get on the road, I don't get on the road. Now, I know all everyone spoke about their health issues, but if when you have setbacks, and I know you touched on, everybody touched on this yesterday, in the planning, but in the preparation, when you have, how do you handle the setback? I'm ready to go, Monica. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get on there. And all of a sudden, this health issue, my foot, I got gout in my toe. And all of a sudden, I have a setback. I do. I really have gout. I have a setback. Do you push through, unless it's real strenuous? Do you push through those things, or do you just say, okay, I'm gonna put this on for another day? How do you do that, Monica? Go ahead. Did she hear me?
Monica, can you hear us? Monica.
She can't hear us.
Oh,
Go.
okay. Yeah,
There you go.
the
There she
audio
go.
is a little, yeah.
It's a little
Okay, good to
late.
go. So no,
That's
yeah,
all
I'll
right.
push through it. I'll push
Okay.
through. I
Right.
mean, I I had a mishap on the bike early out. I tried to get a picture. I drove the bike up into this sand pit, basically, fell, fell, and injured my ankle. So I'm
Hmm.
limping all over the place, trying to, keep the bike balanced. I will push through.
Okay.
Unless my leg was broken, I was going to push through. I was going to push through. I will drive. I will drive wet and cold because
Hmm.
I don't want to stop and put on my rain gear. I will drive injured as long as nothing's broken. I'm gonna keep pushing until my body says no. You can't go anymore.
Can't go
And that's
anymore.
that's might be a good thing or a bad thing, but that's just the way I
Because you
I
have to know
roll, I
yourself.
guess.
You have to know yourself. You have to know your limits as well. Solo, how do you feel about that, sir? What do
Yeah.
you push through, if
Uh,
unless it's
That's true.
real bad, but the
Hey,
little
listen, man.
small things,
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. What would Solo do? WWSD. What would Solo do? Come on, man. Come on. For me,
Solo say, what broken arm?
yeah. What broken arm? What compound fracture? No. I mean, to be 100% honest with you, when I set out to do it, when I left the East Coast and I rode to California, I said, "Hey, I'm not coming back until I'm done."
Okay.
And when I saw what Reef went through, because I was trying to link up with Reef so that we could go over to California together. But when I saw what he had to deal with, the adversities, the weather, the snow, having
Hmm.
to backtrack, because I'm looking at his
Hmm.
spot, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm hitting him up, bro. You good? Man, I'm snowed on, man. I'm this, I'm getting this. I'm like, okay, be smart about it. Pull back. And but when I got over there, I just hit go mode. I
You
just
hit
hit
go
go mode.
mode. Okay.
I hit go
Okay.
mode. And
Okay.
so for me, it was no turning back. It was nothing. I was ready to deal with it. If I had a flat tire, I was ready to deal with it. If the weather had hit me, wait it out 24 hours. If the weather was saying, hey, 24 hours, wait it out. But for me, there was no turning back. It was all go. All
Okay.
go.
So this, because the Grand Slam is like all of you have said, it's a daunting ride, because you have a lot of things you have to accomplish.
Right.
Reef, the same question. This right here is not like the other ride you took a couple years ago, and I know I was talking to you then, and you had a setback on the road. Now that right there, actually forced you to stop. Uh, um, Something not as that bad, but a little minor than that. Do you just push through, or do you just say, hey?
Yeah. So the day I left, the second day I left, I was my goal was to go to NorCal. I was going. I was going to use NorCal as my pivot point and get a lot of stuff done in my mind. And it was a 5% chance of rain leaving Albuquerque. So I said, oh, if rain wasn't supposed to start at 6, so I left at 2. And I'm like, I should get through the rain. And before I got to Gallup, New Mexico, it was snowing, and it wasn't a sprinkle. It was a storm. So I couldn't see. I started sliding on the freeway, and I was thinking, man, Solo and them gonna have to come and scrape me up off the ground. A good thing I sit in my spot. So 3 exits later, which if you've been to Gallup, New Mexico, they're not every mile. 3 exits were closed. The third one was open, and I followed the truck off the freeway. And then I sat down for about 4 hours, and when I went back outside, it had stopped snowing. And I was about to go and continue down to 40, and here comes a guy that had about a foot of snow in his car. And he's looking at the front of my bike, which still had snow on it. And he goes, man, I've been on the 40 since Arizona. He said, I didn't see you on the freeway. I said, because I came from Albuquerque. I said, are you telling me it's snowing down there? He said, man, turn around and look at my car. And I was glad he did, because I was like, well, I'm about to turn my behind back around. So I had to go all the way back to Albuquerque. And there was like 5 wrecks on the side that the police were actively pulling out.
Yep.
And so one of the wrecks, I had to walk the bike for probably about a mile while they were extracting this semi. And the cop goes, you're fucking crazy. Excuse my French. He's like, you're crazy. He's like, where are you going? I was like, man, I was going the other way when all this happened. And I said, it's still snowing down that way. So, it was, it obviously I had to divert. I did not make it to that destination in NorCal. So I made a call on the fly, canceled that reservation, made it one for Big Bear area. And I went there and I continued on. I was just glad to stop long enough for me to go back through Albuquerque, because if it would have kept snowing the way it was, I would have probably had to sit there for a couple of days. But again, it was just a setback. It wasn't nothing that was going to stop me forever. Okay. I just had to wait till it was safe and then continue on. So that was my reason, or my thought process for the whole trip, especially leaving in March. It was a lot of, I'm not about to go, like, I will sleep outside, but not on purpose, or not for long. And I refuse to be up in the mountain. Because I didn't bring. I got spec warfare camping gear. Like I got gear that I can be in -100 and be warm. I didn't bring none of that with me. That wasn't what I was out to. That wasn't what I was out to do. So for me, it was, if it was actively snowing in the mountain pass, I didn't go. I waited till March. Or to May, and then I still got snow.
You still got snow. So, and that's
still got it.
That's the thing when you're dealing with elevation. Monica more familiar with it than say we are, because that's our backyard. So dealing with the elevation really played a factor, because you could start off one way at the bottom, and then when you get to the top,
it's totally different.
Man, Larson,
totally different.
Larson, I mean, it was totally different. I mean, I did a video. I was walking and the snow was over my head. The embankment of the snow was over my head. So that's one of the big things that you have to deal with when you're planning. Hey, we had a question come in.
I was going to answer.
Did anyone ride all night on those rides? With the answer to your question, going out there, going to California or coming back to the East Coast, yes, you rode through the night. I mean, it just is what it is. But during the rides of the SCMA, for the different locations, what you're dealing with is the missions had set times that they were open, so you had to gauge that way. The national parks had certain times that they were open, so you had to take all that into consideration. Then you had to take some of the road closures that was out there. That people, it's like, hey, the road is closed. So all of that come into play, riding through the night, probably get to point A to point B, yes, but to get to these locations that we had to go to, as you can see, there was road closures. Nah.
And then also on the 15 best roads, you got to get receipts at the start and finish. And some of these places don't have. It's not 7-Eleven. It's over 24 hours. Right. So it could hurt you more than it could help you by riding through the night on a lot of the stuff that you do for this particular trip.
Right. And Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say thanks everybody for joining us tonight on this second episode of the Grand Slam completed riders. I'm gonna get that right one time. But I also want to say we had even though we'll flow in and out of our questions and everything. Yesterday was on planning, tonight is on preparation. Tomorrow is on the actual ride. The riders are going to talk about the actual ride, the snow, the stopping,
routes,
the actual missions, the 15 rows, the 3 flags, the 4 corners. We're going to get into all that. I see a lot of the questions are out here about budgeting and everything. And one thing we did cover up budgeting on yesterday's platform. So if you could, my brother, if you could, we covered that. So how they made budgets and everything to go forward on that on yesterday's platform. So tonight we're talking about preparation. Now we might, we got it scripted, but we might flow in and out.
We're gonna flow in and out.
Through.
We're trying to cover all bases.
We're trying to cover all bases. So we're not ignoring you. That's what I'm trying to get at. We're not ignoring you. We see your questions. We see your questions.
Sean Brown.
Trust that.
We see your questions.
We see your questions. Trust that, my brother.
We see your questions, folks.
Let's talk now. Yes, because watch this. Because they might want to know about this. Now I know Monica touched on this yesterday. I'm talking about gear. Y'all just Reef just talked about what he didn't carry that one time, going gear to go sleep outside in 100 below. I don't want to be around no area like that. But what modifications did you make to your bike? I know that's a touchy situation because people say I don't modify my bike.
If I got you straight, I think you just asked me what modifications I did to my bike.
Yes.
Well, yes, so that's the general questions to everybody.
Yes.
What modification did you do to your bike to get ready for the conditions that you may hit on such a ride?
So a lot of the modifications I did, I'm going to try and move closer to the building if that's okay. If that's okay,
that's fine.
Maybe that'll help also with basically what I did to the bike was I put lights. I put the spotlights, like not the clear waters. I don't a little bit more expensive. Plus, these are what came with the bike. So
I think we just lost her. She's moving. Hey, folks, tonight, Monica had to stop and chime in with this broadcast tonight because she wasn't able to make it home in time because she's on California time. In order to make the show. So we're dealing with this, folks. We're trying to bring you the information best we can. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump to you.
Go ahead.
And then when Monica get back, then we'll get her back in. Wait.
Yeah. So for me,
we got it.
Oh, you got it.
Hold your breath, Reef. Hold your breath, Reef.
Hold your breath. So we have the lights. I put the lights on the bike. Matter of fact, I went out and I invested in a Russell Day-long seat. I put that on the bike.
Good money.
on the bike. Well, actually, I had the GPS left over, so that GPS actually was from an older bike, but I had that, so I put that on the bike. I also put the top case, the bags on the bike. I put that on the bike. I put a lot on that bike. As a matter of fact, I totaled up what I put on the bike. Like I said, it was supposed to go to Alaska. I was supposed to go to Alaska, but then I decided to do this. So all of that went on the bike. So quite a bit went on that bike. A lot of money went into that bike before I even left home.
Right. The preparation.
That's it, folks.
Solo, what you do?
A lot of prep.
What's the name of that bike? What's the name of your bike, Solo?
Ambition.
What did you do to Ambition?
Nothing.
I knew I was gonna get that. I knew it.
Hey man, I would tell you.
I knew it.
I am not big on modifications. I did put on fog lights, amber and clear. I highly recommend and suggest that if you're going to do night riding, if you're going to go in fog, get you some running lights, some aux lights that you can see in the fog, and that's going to help brighten up the highway if you're going to ride at night. I can't stress the importance of how how much better it is to ride with a well-lit pad at night. It makes a big difference. Now, I have hit a deer, but I hit the deer at like 5:30 in the morning. So it was just turning dawn. But at night, it's a big plus. It's a big help. If you can invest in those high-end lights, it's worth it. I know people with them. They live by them. Some people got 2 or 3 sets on their bike. And I'm telling you, you cannot ride in front of them. So it does help. It does. Yes, Reed.
You can't ride in front.
No, you can't ride in front of them.
You can't ride in front of them. Yeah.
No.
Reef.
Burn your retinas.
So I will say for this particular ride, nothing. However, Solo and I, as you know, we do a lot of crazy stuff or different stuff. So I have a heated cooled seat. I have a satellite tracker. I have a pair of Denali lights. I have a pair of Clearwater lights.
Hey,
I got a cup holder that holds quite a bit.
I'm gonna give it those free shout outs.
Shout out.
No endorsement.
And then I keep heated gear in the bike, and I wear a suit that I don't have to worry about. Man, it's raining. Let me pull over and put on rain gear. Worst I have to do if it starts getting cold, I have to put on the base layer or add another layer to stop wind from going through. And if it gets too cold, then I turn on my then I put on a heated jacket or something. But I didn't have to use any heat because of some of the other gear that I have, except for my heated seat and my cooling seat. They are a life changer. So, but for this ride, they were already there.
Okay.
I heard.
So they were already there.
I put heated grips on that bike too.
You put heated grips
on that bike. I put heated grips on that bike as well. Yeah.
That's good.
I forgot.
I heard from our sister T-Cat years ago, and she told me she had a jumpsuit or that heated jumpsuit, not heated, but it's a jumpsuit that she didn't have to wear heated gear. Did y'all know anything about that?
It's a pumpkin suit. Military used to use them all. We call them pumpkin suits, but that's basically it's basically like a high end snowsuit.
Okay.
And depending on the wind and everything, you may end up having to because you're moving. They're designed for sitting still.
Yeah.
So you will still may have to add heat or another layer.
Okay. That's the key.
But there's a lot of goose down products you can buy that's thin that will keep you warm up to like 30 degrees, even moving. Right. As long as you're layered up. So it's ways to get around that and then you add some heat to that, and now you're warm for a long time until you burn up your stator.
Right. For me, I'm old school. I wear my chaps. The only thing that I really plug in is I plug in my glove because I have frostbite on my hand. So I will plug in my gloves, my heated glove, my Ken heated gloves. I got to give a shout out to Ken.
Ken Phoenix
gloves. and that's it. And everything else I just layer. Now, it is time consuming. If I run into the rain, I have to stop and put on my rain gear. But for the most part, I am just layer up or layer down.
I'm glad you said that, Solo, because I don't know if anybody else out there had this question, but I have this question because I'm glad you said that, because every time I see you out there, wherever you are camping, when you do your pictures, you have that jean jacket on. And I say, is he changing? Because I know doggone well it gets cold out there, and that wind has to go straight through that jean jacket there.
Hey, man. Hey.
I be looking, I'm like, that's all he wears out there? Nah, can't be. Can't be,
man. But to each his own, to each his own. It's what you feel comfortable in. Some people say, hey, I want to invest in this. And it's not just the warmth of the suit that Reef and Monica wear or other riders wear. Is maybe that extra layer of protection if they go down by chance, because certain suits do have warranties that, hey, if you do go down, they will replace them as long as you get a police report or something like that. So there are benefits to them. We the three of us we bring a lot to the table as far as knowledge on riding, what we use, our gear, and our techniques. You know what I'm saying? Everybody approaches it different. You know, everybody gets something different. Like Monica loves mapping. She'll tell you she loves to map. You know, it's a challenge for her.
That, yes.
Yeah. So you know, Reef and I, we may sit there and hate it and wait till the last minute and then just go out there and do it. Well, Monica would take the time and
we done that a few times.
Yeah. Yes, we have. Yes,
listen, y'all, we are talking to 3 extraordinary bikers out here that have done some of the most incredible rides across these United States, into Canada, into Mexico. And we're talking tonight about preparation. What do you say?
Logic.
What's that?
I gotta do this. You know what I gotta do, right?
What
I gotta do. Folks,
we got to do it. Here we go.
We got to jump over to YouTube. We got to jump over to YouTube. See
you on YouTube. We're back.
We're back. Are we back?
Are we back?
Good?
Are we back? All right, we're back. We're back. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Coming back again. Coming back, sticking with us. If you was on Facebook and you over here, welcome to YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to my page, to K Solo page. Go ahead, hit the flash. All that stuff. Okay. I want to ask a question from Sean Brown, because brother, we were not ignoring you, but I picked up one of your questions that can go into preparation. I'm
gonna call him.
You gonna call him? Okay.
We call Sean. Sean, you gonna
pick up one of these questions he had. And it's funny. He said, "Who was your sponsor? Because the math ain't mapping."
I already answered that. I answered that in the chat.
I just wanted to say that.
I know the math isn't mapping. No, but we talked about that in the initial phase of it.
Yes.
And actually, as a matter of fact, Monica, you have a breakdown. Am I correct?
Yes, you must. You're absolutely correct. I do have breakdown.
Let's go ahead. Let's get to that. So
just remember, when you listen to her breakdown, your results may vary.
That's right.
Results may vary.
Your results may vary.
Right.
There's a warning. Here's a warning.
It's going to be a little bit less. But if you're staying in hotels, it's probably going to be, I'm thinking, pretty on to what I have. Because I stayed at some fairly nice hotels. I'm going to say some pretty nice hotels.
She didn't say she was bougie or nothing. She didn't say she did.
No, hey, maybe a little bit. But I mean, you're talking about like, let's see, gas, because we were talking about gas last night, right?
Right.
So you're talking about like $2,000 for gas. Now, I don't know what you guys average for gas, but coming from California, and that to me, I thought was not a bad price actually. Where I spent most of my money was in hotels, which came out to about $7,000. Matter of fact, even a little bit more. And I think that also included, I'm pretty sure, the Three Flags Classic, because I stayed by myself, so I didn't have anybody to share it with. So we're talking about $7,000 in hotel bills. And then I brought with me, I usually like to carry cash. So I carried about $1,000, but probably maybe I think I was almost 2/3 into the ride before I had to go back to the ATM machine and get a little bit more money. So I don't know if you have the spreadsheet, but you can see what I spent as far as cash was concerned. And I can't really remember off the top of my head what I spent for maintenance on my vehicle. So you're talking oil. Now, I was able to get somebody to do the oil change in Sault Ste. Marie, but I had to do the oil change in, where was I when I did that first oil change? I can't remember where I was. But I did at least 2 oil changes on my own on the bike. So I had to buy the kit, and then matter of fact, I think the kit at Cycle Gear was almost $100 because I bought that Moto really nice oil. So that was just the materials to put into the bike. but I think that was the least of my expenses were the maintenance on the vehicle. But my biggest expense was hotels, and I
Yeah,
averaged about $150 a night for hotel
a
bill.
night.
A night.
Yes,
A
Um,
night.
that was a
Yeah.
night. Yeah, a night. Yeah.
And,
and
That's
and
about what I was
so
paying
what-
until I
It's
had an
still
incident in Maine, and the whole week in Maine, the hotels were 250 plus.
yeah, and see that,
wow.
and that's another thing.
yep. Yep.
During the time that we
Mhm.
were doing this is high tourist peak season,
Yes.
so all of the prices go
Right.
up.
Yep.
Go up.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you can
Mhm.
get a hotel, I think Monday through Thursday for one price. That same room is going to almost double for
On
the
the
weekend. And
weekends.
some of the
Yeah.
places that we
Yeah.
Over the
went,
course of the weekend.
because
Yeah.
they are tourist
Yeah.
locations, the national parks, near the
Mhm.
missions, the best 15 rows. So for me, the best 15 rows were great because they were kind of back rows, plenty of room that I could just pop a tent up and camp and stop for
Mhm.
4 or 5 hours, get back up fresh and keep rolling. So that was I say my plus to it. My numbers didn't add up to what Reef and Monica did because I did that.
Right.
Mhm.
So
And
when you look at
I'm
it,
thinking it would probably be less than half of what that, right?
yeah, but I
It
did
would
get
probably
hit.
been like half. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then too, you got to sit there and say,
Okay.
well, okay. Here's another thing that people don't realize: hotel rates change from
Mhm.
like checkout time is like 11, 12, somewhere
11 to
around there.
12.
11,
11 to
12.
12. So between
Yeah.
1 and 5 o'clock, hotel rooms are one price. After 5 p.m., the later it gets, there's a window where the prices will go up, probably
Wow.
$10 to $15 more,
Right. Right.
because
Right.
now it's
Right.
becomes a convenience and they know you need them.
They know you
So
need it.
they know you need that room.
Mhm.
So keep that in mind, folks. Keep that in mind. Yes,
Eh,
Ruger. Yes, KOAs. But the thing is, there's a lot of tricks to the
But you ain't
trade
gonna
that
see
you
a
can
lot of
learn.
KOAs where we at.
Yeah. There's a lot of tricks to the trade that you can learn when
Yeah.
you're sitting there saying, well, okay, I'm going to go on the road this. Pay attention to the rates of hotels. You may try to go through different sites to get a room. Get a membership. Like Reef has a membership where it helps with his price.
Right. Right.
Before you just go out there
Mhm.
blasting, do your homework, long distance riders. Do your
Yes.
homework.
Yes.
Learn how to survive on the road so that your dollar will stretch a little bit further. And if you're going west, trust me, the price of gas goes up. Don't want to hear you crying about it, because if you do, I'm gonna talk about
Goes
you.
to what? Mhm.
Listen. Everybody, long distance riders, people wanting to be long distance riders. I think all three of our interviewees were being nice. I'm just going to be straightforward. You gotta spend some pennies. you gotta
Yeah,
you
then,
gotta spend some pennies. I mean,
yeah.
and one thing I wanted to add on top of what Solo said about Reef and his memberships, I was taught this a while ago in my growing up to be a long distance riders. I have membership with IHG, Marriott, Choice
Mhm.
Hotels.
Yep.
I
Got those
have
there.
all these cards and I build this up. So if I need to stay at one, it's not going to knock the price completely out, but the prices will go down because I have all these memberships.
And because you're
Right.
military.
And
And
because
because
I'm
I'm
I did almost 18,000 miles, two up. So that just
Yes.
enhanced my fee.
So part of the preparation is definitely the planning, and the preparation is preparing that mental. I'm going to spend something on tires, bike maintenance,
Mhm.
oil changes, everything. Do I camp? How good am I at camping? Am I scared of a cricket? So we gotta be real, y'all. These are three people, ladies and gentlemen, that have done it. These are three people that have been through it. Monica did it twice,
yes.
2
Yes.
times, and the
Right.
second time, I'm gonna say it again. She did it on a 650.
650.
650.
650, man. 650.
So preparation, plan, prepare before you get on the road to do the Grand Slam and or any long distance ride that you may want to do. All right. Question. I gotta figure out the next question. Yo, we was just going on. We talked about the setbacks. We talked about clothing. We talked about listen. All three of y'all are long distance riders. I know y'all have written in groups. I know, I especially know that a lot of y'all written by yourselves. How do you prepare when you're by yourself? I might just skip K Solo on this one because he puts his stuff out there. But how do you prepare for the loneliness on the road? How do you prepare for that? To know that I'm gonna be on this road for maybe a long stretch by myself. I may not want to listen to the radio. I may not want to get on the phone. But how do you prepare for the loneliness on the ride?
So you figure out something that's gonna keep you occupied. Some people don't listen to radio. I know a lot of people that ride long distance don't listen to radio at all. But for me, I love my music. So like I pay for Pandora because when I don't have a signal, my Pandora is still there and everything I download. And then I don't use Waze as much as I used to because I plot, like Solo told you, I plot on Google. But a lot of times I will open up Waze just because it's going to tell me where the police are and I can be interactive. So that's something else that I'm looking now for things along my route that keep me occupied that I need to be looking for anyway. Hey, there's animals. Click. There's police. Click. So, and then I have for real long, Monica and Solo, you know, we were out there, we called each other often and looking at each other's spot. And and if we knew they were out there, we would just call each other. So you're not, even though you're out there by yourself, you're not by yourself. So like we would get texts, hey, this road is closed, or hey, remember this ferry is only this hour. So that all helped the whole process for me.
Okay. All right. Monica, how do you do that?
You know what? Siri became my best friend. I would say, hey Siri, and she'd answer me, hey Siri, and this, hey Siri, why am I in this, you know, weather? And she'd tell me, oh, you're in westerlies. There's this storm system that moves from west to east. I mean, talk about helmet talk. Me and Siri would have conversations. To the one point, she stopped talking to me because I had to tell her to shut up. Because every time I'd say something, you know, Siri, I was like, shut up. And I was like,
so they're arguing with Siri.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, Siri became my friend for this ride. But like my cuz there, Pandora. I love Pandora. I mean, I listen to Pandora all the time. And then sometimes when, you know, you lose your internet, if you listen to it enough, something else will come up. It'll have your favorites and it'll play that.
Right.
So it's for me now, it's Siri and Pandora. Or sometimes I like to just be quiet and I'll just turn it all off and just ride in silence.
Enjoy the
and
ride.
That's nice.
Enjoy
but that's
ride.
how I kind of usually stave off the loneliness. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So Solo, I was gonna skip you on this one because we see, but I'm going ahead and let you go ahead and answer. How do you handle, or how do you prepare for the loneliness or the for the long stretch, the isolation when you're by yourself? How do you prepare for that?
I don't say it's necessarily loneliness. I think it's a feeling of not loneliness. You don't feel lonely. You just I feel as I'm by myself. No matter what I encounter, I have to deal with it.
Okay.
So my mind is, so it's all on me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So for me, at one point in time, I didn't even listen to music, but now I will find, I do more motivational, inspirational type music, stuff that's kind of want to uplift me. I'll listen to the old talk series because it doesn't put me to sleep. It keeps me engaged. You know, before there was television, they used to do everything on talk radio. So I will listen to talk radio, find me an old mystery, and it just like you're just in it, you know, you're just in it. And then too, What Reef got me hooked on is listening to comedians. I listen to comedians. So I'll be riding and I find myself like and then I put on a comedian and I get a good laugh and that'll cheer me up and get me chipper again. And I start and then especially when I listen to some Kevin Hart, you're gonna learn today, the stuff kind of pick you up, here's some life stories and stuff like that. So I try to listen to music that's going to be uplifting to me. I can't get into a lot of the hardcore stuff, the profanity stuff, and I can't really get into it. But stuff that's uplifting to me, I will listen to it. I can roll with that. Roll with that. So loneliness, I won't say loneliness. I say it's a challenge of me being out there in the wilderness by myself. Whatever I have to deal with, I have to get myself out of it.
And this is gonna be sounds kind of strange, because everyone know I'm a pastor. I cannot listen on a long ride. I cannot listen to gospel music because I said that I can't sit up here and cry. If you want to praise, I've been the one to jump off the bike and everything. Right. So I listen to other music. And one question I wanted to bring up was what you said, or when you listen to those stories or those comedy shows. You don't tend to drift off and you all into these stories and forget where you are on the road? No,
for me,
we ride way too much for that.
I'm asking. Watch this now. I'm asking y'all because y'all experienced. We want to. There's people out here that want to understand this. Oh, I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna listen to what Solo or Reef do, and then they'll be sitting there listening to it and their mind or drift off from their surroundings and be.
Then you need to park that bike and fly home.
For me, I can't do podcasts or books. Like if it's a book, I like to listen to audio books, but I can't. I don't know, for whatever reason, I cannot concentrate on the book and ride at the same time. I get so immersed in what I'm listening to, I can't do it. But with music, I can do that. And 90% of the time what I'm listening to is, dance music, electric cardio, or something that's, uplifting and energy, high beat.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yes. Okay. Energy type stuff. Because that's what gets me focused on the road where I'm going. And of course, I mean, the riding that we do, you see, I'll be like, wow, that's a beautiful mountain range, or oh my God, look at what is. Matter of fact, I was on the 191 and I saw two animals. Yes. They were in front of me. And I was like, what the heck is that? I didn't know what it was.
First, you had to make sure they were real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're out there by yourself. Yeah.
So beautiful. You're out there by yourself. And my thing is, man, is a bear going to come up and, eat me or something? But they were two weird looking animals. And I had to stop the bike in the middle of the road because I was like, what the H is that?
Right.
And then I got home and there was some kind of ringtail, not a monkey, but a ringtail is what they were called. But I'd never seen anything like that before. So I have those experiences, and you'll see different animals and, on the road. So that's a good, not distraction, but it keeps me in that moment. It keeps me present.
Right.
Whereas usually books and podcasts, they just, I get so engrossed in what they're talking about, I kind of forget about the road. So I tend to stay away from that. Yeah, for me.
See, everybody, you have to find what you like that works for you, because there's no one right answer.
Exactly.
You really have to find what works for you.
Exactly.
And you got to run with it. Again, your results may vary.
Your results may vary.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, they will. But definitely, not to cut you off, Elijah, but
go ahead.
On this ride right here, because I was on some new roads that I hadn't ridden before, I was totally immersed in the ride. Because which road was that, everybody? When we did the Pacific Coast, when we dropped down, the road was terrible.
Mottola Road.
Motel Road.
Mottola. Yes. I mean, it was
Horrible.
beautiful.
I told you about it. I told you.
It was beautiful. Yeah, he said.
I told
Yeah,
you.
you told me about it.
He's like, oh my God, it's a horrible road.
Told y'all.
But you got to go down it. That's part of the ride.
But it was
like you
beautiful,
said, it's
though.
part of the adventure. Yes.
Yeah, but
It was
called
beautiful,
the
but that juice was not
Lost
worth the
Coast.
squeeze.
Oh,
You
my
were on
God,
the
baby.
lost. Well, I would agree with you there, but it was the Lost Coast, and I was like, man, this coast could have stayed lost because I didn't need to go through this to see just that.
Because it was terrible.
5
It was
miles.
terrible.
Horrible.
Yeah, it was
But-
horrible.
I called Solo cussing out. Horrible.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Man. What in the world? But it was
Y'all gonna have to
beautiful.
bring this up
the
again.
The scenery was
It
beautiful.
was beautiful.
And we have pictures. We definitely going to load some pictures up so we can kind of show everybody a little bit about the route that we took, the roads that we took, a couple of the missions, so that everybody can get a visual what it take. It's a lot. I mean, we have well over 1,000 photos between the three of us, maybe more. So we're going to try to put together something so that people can kind of see, okay, when you say missions, what are the missions? Okay,
Right.
that's what the missions are. The best 15 roads. Why is it the best 15 road? Because it has some of the best scenic views that you could see, that you can travel to on a motorcycle. And it's going to take you through some of the historic little towns, you know.
Or they're
everything.
just beautiful roads to. You know what? One of my favorite roads in California is the 299. That was part of that. Is just one of those snake roads where you can see curves forever, and you can just. I mean, it's just a beautiful sweeping road to ride.
Right.
You know, as opposed to Molette Road, which you got to look where you going on that road. I'm surprised you didn't crack any rims or anything on that road, because that road was more like you want to go off.
I sorted out my lights on that road.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, because it was so bad. The pothole was so bad. It's not well maintained.
No.
They were doing some construction work up there. I think at the very top, they had the grader up there. It was packed dirt, and it just rained, so it was a little muddy. But it's not very well kept. And then a portion of it is actually a cow pasture, where you literally are skirting the cow pasture.
Yep.
Wow.
And the ocean is to your right or to your left, depending on which side you come. So, you know, it's a lot. But hey, folks, listen. Logic.
Yes, sir.
We got to say something for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I was just letting y'all talk. I didn't want to cut you off. Yeah, I slid it. I said y'all got to remember that for tomorrow.
Man, we got to do the finale, man. Tomorrow. But hey, once again, folks, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight.
Yes.
To the Riding with K Solo, the podcast with Logic. Our featured guest tonight is Sharif Al-Sadiq, Monica Short, and myself, K Solo, the rider. And we have been given 3 perspectives on successfully riding the SMA Grand Slam, which encompasses 7 different rides, which stretch from the Four Corners to Canada to Nova Scotia and all in between.
And everything in between.
And everything in between.
Florida, yes.
And everything in between. So, folks.
And Mexico.
Mexico.
The 3 flags.
Oh,
TJ,
That's right. I'm
flags,
like, wait a minute. So all 3. There you go, man.
See,
when I made the thumbnail,
right.
man, I put 2 up there, and I was like, wait a minute. But hey, once again, we want to send our condolences out to everybody that was impacted with the hurricanes that came up last weekend, and everybody that's affected. We keep you in our prayers. Also, once again, we want to keep Cherry in our prayers and her family. She was a part of the RTE family.
Yes.
Folks, also want to mention the RTE will be happening this weekend, the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Rain or shine.
Rain or shine, Hammond, Louisiana, because real riders ride, and we ride. So the thing is, we're going to be down there. Come join us. We're going to fellowship. We're going to break bread. We're going to have a good time. We're going to eat. That's what we do. And so we're looking forward to seeing everybody. We can't wait to see everybody and just enjoy, have a good time. Logic?
Yes, sir.
I think we hit our target. tonight.
I think we did. We did.
I think we hit our target tonight. So,
Yes, sir.
ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to wrap it up, I'm going to leave you with this. Always remember, aspire to inspire. And if you do that, you'll definitely be legendary. Logic?
Ride hard, ride safe, and always, always ride on faith. Keep it logical. See y'all tomorrow.
See y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Hey, man.
Hey.
All right. Oh, we still live. Don't forget, we still live now.
What's going on?
Hey, folks. Hey, this is a little behind the scene prep that we're doing. We're going to share it with you on the tail end. Basically, Logic and I are very excited to be doing this podcast. You can tell by our energy. You can tell by the guests that we bring on, how we get them engaged, and what we're looking forward to with this podcast and the direction that we want to take it. We want to keep this podcast positive.
Yes, sir.
We want to stay positive with positive energy, positive and engaging dialogue. If you have a question and we do not get to that question, do not be discouraged. We will answer your question. We have a flow. We do a pre-production. We do a pre-production before every show, and we inform our guests the topics that we want to cover, the information that we want to try to share with you, the audience, and we try to stick to it. Some of the questions that come in may not fit that platform right then, may not fit that program, but we will get to it. Even if we have to go direct and give you a call, because some people, we do have your phone number, or we will try to call you through Messenger. We will. So I just want to take this time. This is the tail end. A lot of people have already tuned off, but it's just like being at the movie theater. Sometimes, you know, you have to sit there and wait to see if
there's something coming on after the credits.
After the credits roll.
After you finish the credits, there's something coming on.
I know. What's your take, Elijah? How you feel about it, man?
Oh, I feel great, and I concur with everything you just said. And we never want to ostracize anyone's question on that comes on. We welcome you to come on. We want you to come on. But as Solo just said, we have a set program, even though we go off script a little bit, but we have this flow. And one thing that we have said, and I'm just echoing what he said, one thing we have said between us two is that this podcast is going to stay positive. We're going to have fun. We're going to stay positive. We're going to bring great information. There's a lot of things you will never, I ain't gonna say probably, you will never see from this podcast. And we don't even want to talk about that. Just know that we're going to always be smiling. We're going to always be bringing you great information. If we don't get to your question, trust, we see it. I mean, we can see it, and we'll get back with you on a later date.
And listen, folks, if you know of an unsung rider out there, someone who you know is riding, someone who's a positive influence in the community, by all means, reach out to us. Yes, we have people lined up, but we still want to highlight that unsung rider out there, because we're going to start doing some pre-recordings and try to capture them all. Because the thing is, folks, is we have some outstanding riders out there. Yes, we done some great things, but there are riders out there that people may not have heard of, that maybe they are antique historian. Maybe they enjoy riding a specific type of rides, or going to specific types of location that, hey, we feel is a positive influence on the community. And the culture. So the thing is, folks, is we're going to keep it positive. We're going to keep it, we're going to keep it moving. We appreciate you tuning in. Please continue to tune in. And share. And the only thing that we can ask for is, you can only subscribe one time, but if you can share it in your groups that you're in the social media world, we would greatly appreciate that. So if you just share the platform, said, hey, look, tune into these guys, man, they're keeping it positive, they're giving out good information, we'd greatly appreciate it. So hey,
we greatly appreciate it.
This is some behind the scenes stuff that I felt as I wanted to share, and Logic wanted to share. So we definitely appreciate you. So Logic, we actually gonna sign off this time, man.
Let me say one more thing.
Yes,
I want
sir.
all y'all out there to know that I know we have some other podcasters, some other influencers out there. We are learning. We're learning the tricks of the trade. We out here trying to get good stuff to bring you not just good information, but to bring you a good broadcast.
Yes.
Mics, headphones, video equipment, just to bring you a good broadcast, because we're trying to give back to the community. We're trying to give back to you. So just let you know what's going on in our backgrounds and individual backgrounds. All right, I'm done.
System, all of that.
Yeah, I'm done.
We're trying to bring it to you, folks. So hey, once again, thank you for tuning in. Riding with K Solo, the podcast with Logic. We greatly appreciate you. We thank you for tuning in. You guys have a good night.
Have a good evening.